What's up, YouTube?
What's going on, guys? We're back with another lovely episode with another lovely guest.
You want to introduce the guest this time?
Do I want to introduce the guest? Well, I think there's no other better introduction than the guest introducing themselves.
Yeah, I think that's how we should do it now.
Honestly.
What do I know?
Yeah, who do I know?
You know yourself the best, right, Mayra? Yes. So you can go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. I know it is morning. It's actually like one of the earliest, I think, times we've ever like started recording, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna revise the whole 9 to 1 thing.
Yeah, because we're mostly night owls. Like,
this is way too early.
Yeah,
for you
I went
guys.
to bed probably 4:30. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, probably 4:30. And I took 2 doses of melatonin. Didn't do anything to me at all.
You just have a high tolerance.
I think that's what it is, honestly. But yeah.
The mic's yours, Miss Mayra.
Thank you for inviting me, guys.
Oh no, thank you for showing up.
My name is Mayra Martinez from the Harbor area. Love to be, in my Harbor area, of course. Thank you, guys.
Oh, cool. No problem. So how long have you been riding for? We'll get into that first.
Okay, cool. So I brought my helmet, as you guys could see. Love my helmet. I've been riding since I was 7 years old.
Oh, shit. Okay.
My dad rides, and that's something that we enjoy as a family. Been riding dirt bikes ever since I could remember. And we grew up on that mentality that if you fall, you figure out how the fuck you're going to get yourself up, So
yeah, which is the right way,
to so that's
learn.
I knew since I was like a little kid that that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life is ride. There's nothing else more passionate and more like liberating than riding.
Oh yeah, like people always ask me like, oh, like what's it feel like? I'm like, it's just different, It's just you in the road. You're exposed to the elements. It's raining. It's hot. It's cold.
Yes.
Feel it all, man.
Definitely. It lets you think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And then you kind of like forget about everything else, and you're just focused on what you're doing at the moment, And so it's good. It's just like same thing with driving cars and things like that. Pretty much similar, but you're just running more of a risk, when you're on a motorcycle, and then especially because like. Like people talk about accidents and stuff, and then they always say like, at least when I started riding, because similar to you, my dad rides. So ever since I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a motorcycle,
Yeah.
Always since little, and then moms like normal moms, oh no, you're not getting one. I'm
right.
Like, yeah, I'm getting one. Oh no, you're not getting one. And then I was like, I'm gonna get one, and then I just got one, and then she couldn't do anything about it. But still to this day, she still tells me like, oh, I don't know why you ride your motorcycles. I already had like 2 accidents, so it's but still, it's like I'm gonna ride and keep using them until I guess I physically can't no more.
Right.
Especially like you, how you said you have like 7 motorcycles and stuff. So that's
it's a combination of street bikes, dirt bikes, Harleys. I love it all. Anything on 2 wheels.
Oh yeah. I mean, I learned on Harleys, but I appreciate street bikes as well. Just the problem with me and street bikes is like I know I'll get in trouble with them because you cannot go like 30 miles per hour on those. No
exactly.
Way.
Yeah, it's just the whole vibe of a Harley to a street bike is so different.
Yeah, it's completely different. Like, like on a Harley, you're cruising, going slow. You don't need to go fast.
Right.
Like, but on the sport bike, it's just... And then when you're taking the turns, you need to go... And you just want to go faster.
Exactly.
And faster. So, yeah. So that's why I don't ride those neither. They're also kind of high, too. Like, most of them are pretty...
Yeah.
I'm a short guy.
I feel your pain. I'm on the same level.
I mean, I can ride them and stuff, but it's funny because I think one day we were... I used to ride in the motorcycle club like way back when, and we were all out eating, and then one day we've done this a couple times, and then we're like, hey, let's just all switch bikes, and then we're like, all right, cool. So I ended up on my Oscar's R6. Oscar's a tall guy.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, the R6 isn't. He's not dead, but the R6 isn't here no more.
That's what I was talking about.
I just wanted to clarify.
I heard the story.
People might think my boy died or something.
Technically, he's still alive and well.
Yeah, he's still alive and well. But yeah, I ended up on his R6, and Oscar's a pretty tall guy, right? He was like 6 feet or something like that. So when I got on the bike, I tipped it over. I'm on my tippy toes, but in order for me to like kind of stop, I had to have my half of my ass
leaned off
so I could put my feet down. But yeah, that's
definitely
why
I understand the struggle.
Me and street bikes don't really mix well, but it's still dope as fuck.
My street bikes are dropped.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you lowered them.
Yeah, this one's dropped too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's lowered.
Oh, okay. You just put like a lowering kit on it, or
it's a lowering kit.
You didn't put any like bags or something.
No.
Out of all your bikes, what's probably your favorite bike?
Oh yeah,
Slim.
Slim.
Slim
Okay.
is my favorite.
Soft-tail Slim.
Soft toast. This is my second Slim. I've had
Okay.
a few before, but this is, yeah. She's got like, aside from what she costs, she's got like maybe like over $10,000.
Oh, really?
On accessories and stuff.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I see you got the speaker system on there too, so
Yeah.
that's pretty
The rims and
neat.
some custom paint job and all that stuff.
Okay.
It starts to add up.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then what size? You have? I guess what we call them, 8 hangers, right?
Yeah.
Or what size?
They're factory 47.
Factory 47. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, factory 47's been coming up a lot.
The
lately,
bars
I've
as
seen.
well.
The highway bars or whatever, or engine guards, whatever
Yeah.
they call them. Okay, yeah. Those, they make pretty cool quality
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So I can see why people are gravitating towards them
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah. Me, I pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't say I keep my stuff most of them stock. I'm more of a different style. Like, you know, I appreciate ape hangers. Like, they look sick, they look cool. But I'm more into like the performance look style.
Right,
So
right.
T-bars, you know, things like that. That's what I usually.
Everybody has their own look,
Yeah, of course.
their own
But that's
style.
like the beauty of it. You know, you have your ride and you make it towards like your
your own.
own. You know, and not everyone's gonna be the same, or they are. You know, like everyone in their mamas has the all black Dyna. You know, so
Yeah.
there's that. as
That's
well.
true.
But
For sure.
yeah, so we touched on what got you into writing, and then
How'd you get into the cars? How'd
Yeah.
you make the transition from
to
bikes to cars?
bikes to cars.
So, as I told you guys, I run a nonprofit organization, and growing up in the neighborhood, you know, always seeing people be incarcerated and, you know, dealing with so many barriers. And I always wanted a lowrider. I used to hang around in the neighborhood as well.
Okay.
And when my ex-boyfriend at the time, you know that puppy love when you're like 13 years old, you know, you're all in love. His brother-in-law came to pick us up at school, and he had a 664, and I wanted to go in that car. And I was like, oh, can I go in the car? They're like, no. I'm like, why not? They're like, oh, because you're a girl. I was like, what the hell? Because I'm a girl. What does that have to do with anything?
No girls allowed.
No.
I guess it was no
Like,
girls allowed
at the
at
moment
that
made
time.
all sense. Like, you know, yeah, that's how it rolls.
Yeah, and
But
it
it's
was
like,
it was all guys. So but I wanted to be in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
car, and I told him I'm gonna buy me one. He goes, you're not gonna be able to afford one. I was like, damn, he's probably right, but I'm gonna get one day. And you know they're expensive. It's an expensive habit.
Yes,
Lowriders, cars, any kind of car, even other types of vehicles that are performance vehicles, motorcycles. It costs a lot of money, and I was never able to afford one. And moving on in my life, I had a motorcycle accident too. Had a motorcycle accident. And I was my own lawyer, so I didn't hire anybody because that'd be taking forever. So I went down on the 110 freeway, got a settlement out of it, and I was gonna go buy me a lowrider.
hell yeah.
I was like, I had the money, I had $70K.
Oh shit.
I had $70K. I had already looked at the car that I was gonna buy. And I sat in the driveway before I talked to this guy, and I started crying because I had always wanted to make a difference. And I didn't have the money. And I said, you know what, Mayra, don't buy that car. Don't buy that car. Start your nonprofit, because I had told my family too. So we don't make, in my family, I started like a new tradition. We don't do birthday wishes. We make goals. And that was my goal, start my own business, but make a difference at the same time. So I went on that adventure to start my own nonprofit, my own business, make a difference, help people that were formerly incarcerated, have a second chance. Because I was working in that environment, and all these programs were just holding people back and setting them up for failure. And I wanted to make a difference in that. So I went on my little adventure as a single mom, divorced, didn't have shit but this money, and I wanted this car in Wilmington. So I moved my kids and my family out of my home and we're struggling because I had to leave my home. So the guys and I started Aim High Sober Living Transitional Housing for formerly incarcerated men. It's a nonprofit, and of course I didn't have the money to start a nonprofit, so I had to literally teach myself all what it took to start a nonprofit, all the legality, all the red tape that it takes to start a business, and it's unfortunate to help people. It's expensive, and it's it's like not, you can't explain. I can't like literally sit here and explain to you guys how it all starts, but it's hard.
Yeah.
I would go to the city, I would fight with people. Like, it was hard for me because I didn't have the funds and the money. And after everything was said and done, after all the licenses, everything that it takes, I had exhausted all my money.
Shit.
I had $20 in my bank account, and I already had 10 people at my program.
Okay.
So I cried once again.
So where does it go from there? So we'll jump into that.
Okay.
So you start your nonprofit with $70K.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing to start a nonprofit. You're learning as you go.
Exactly.
Correct? So you have 10 people in this program. You have $20 in your account. Where does it go from there?
Well, I first cried. Just wanted to say that.
I
cried.
I would have cried too.
I was crying because I didn't know what I was going to do. But I had already written some grants and had sent, and I just prayed to God. And in the mail was a check for $40,000 that day.
Okay.
So moving forward, then as the years went by, then I started building more and more. So now I have 6 facilities.
You have 6 facilities?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So from the one, I kept saving my money till 6. And it took me into the business about 3 years before I was able to afford my first lowrider.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 facilities. So what are your what do they offer at your locations? Like, what is it entitled? Like, what?
So one of the things is, like, I do provide housing. Like, they don't have to pay for nothing. No utilities, no bills, no nothing. Depending on the grant that I put them on, they don't have to pay for anything. Their main focus is to work on themselves. Like, just imagine if you guys had that opportunity, like, you know what, you don't have to pay bills right now. Save all your money. Like, imagine how much money you would save.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a lot. All the money.
Exactly.
If you're doing the right choices and stuff,
Exactly.
that you there's that you can save all the money, and that's what you're providing them, right? So
I feel like because you don't have the stress of like, damn, I need to find a job that's gonna pay set amount so that I can afford to live. You know what I mean? Have a place to stay. Yeah. That takes that off of your head. So then you could actually try to find that gig that's not really gonna pay all that well, but you'll learn something. You know what I mean? Behind and get your foot in the door somewhere. Yeah,
because most of the guys that I have, they've done over 10 years in prison. I had one guy that he did 43 years in prison.
43 years.
43 years. He had been in prison longer than I've been alive.
Damn, that's insane.
So just imagine being gone for even 10 years and then being dropped back off. Like, okay, what do you do now?
Yeah.
You got no job, no credit. Nobody knows where the heck you've been at.
No.
Nothing.
Paperwork,
Lost.
Just your prison paperwork.
Hell of a gap right there.
Yeah, that's a big old gap.
Yeah. And one of the things that I do different than that other programs don't do is I really do care. I teach the guys how to drive. Sometimes I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning answering phone calls. It's a nonstop. It's not, I don't call it a job. It's my passion and my life mission now.
Well, yeah, and it's a lifestyle because you have to morph your life to be able to. How many people are in your program right now?
Currently, I have about 62 people.
Oh, shit.
Mayra takes care of 62 men. I sometimes say, I mean, government gives me some money, but I physically...
You're there,
Yeah, I physically... I don't have funding at times. Sometimes there's no money coming in, and I will have to sell a lowrider. That's the reason why I had to sell one of my other cars. No money was coming in, and got to sell a car. That's why I used to have more, and now I had to sell a '79 Monte Carlo, which I freaking loved. The best car that I've ever had, from no rust, best car. Money was short on the business, had to sell the car. We sold her for $15K.
Right? I mean, it shows your commitment towards, your nonprofit, that you're willing to sacrifice and get rid of the things that you love in order to, keep it afloat.
Right.
And that's insane, like how you said, like, because I'm not too well versed. Like, I know a little bit about nonprofits, but you do get some help or funding from the government, right?
Right.
Because of it being a nonprofit. And I find that insane that how you said, like, no money coming in. Like, how does that work? Like, why is it that the government either is falling behind or what kind of, like, I guess, school me on that. Like,
so
how does that work?
On that part, Mayra sometimes doesn't like to follow rules.
Okay.
So there's sometimes regulations to some of the grants. Like they make you, like a person when they get out of prison, they have to have a blackout period. Nothing for 90 days.
Okay.
I've been in situations where the guys are in other programs. Like the one guy that I told you that he did 43 years, he was in the program where they told him he couldn't see his mom. His mom was still alive. She literally flew from Louisiana to see her son, and that program said he couldn't see his mom.
That was one of their
stipulations. Blackout period. Don't see anybody for 90 days.
Oh, wow.
What's the deal with that?
Bullshit. I was like, what the? They called me. They're like, you know what? This guy did 43 years. They won't let him see his mom. I was like, you know what? Tell him to come to my program. Tell him to come to my program. Mm-hmm. I took him in that night. He's seen his mom. How are you going to tell somebody that rules are rules, but sometimes you need to break them? That's what we've lost. Yeah. Like, he's seeing his mom. He hasn't seen her in 43 years.
Yeah, I mean, you put your time. You did your time, I feel like, at that point.
Right.
And it's like, well, you're free, right? So, like, shouldn't you be able to do what, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, the system is set up where, you have to be on parole after you discharge. And there's regulations, but these programs, for them to accept this money, they have to follow those rules. Yeah. And Mayra's not good at that. Mayra breaks rules all the time. So that's why in some contracts they won't take me, because they tell me, oh, you can't teach a guy how to drive. What do you mean I'm not going to teach him how to drive? Oh, that's a liability. I don't care. I'll still do it. I'll teach him how to drive. That's insane. If I have to put them in my car and almost die learning to teach them how to drive, because I've been put in that situation. These guys have never driven a car. And I put myself in. It's a liability. Yeah, of course. But who else is going to do it if they don't have anybody? Yeah, if they don't have anyone else to teach them, or or dedicate the time to do that for them, And that's the sucky part, is that sometimes, with a lot of these guys, of course, they make bad decisions, and hurt people or whatever the case may be. But we all have at some point made bad decisions. Yeah, and then it's up to us to help rehabilitate, these people, include them into the world, and give them the opportunity to change, because what are you going to do if you make it harder for them to succeed or to make a living in this world? What are they going to do? Go back to what they were doing before. Yeah. Right. They might not have a choice. Mm-hmm. It's and sometimes the system is set up for failure, where they they want them to go back to prison because they make more money on them being incarcerated than being out. And it's raza, African American people. You go into the prisons, which I do as well, because I do a lot of activism work in the prisons, not during COVID, but like you see how our population is infested in prison. Oh yeah. Because we are put in that circumstances. We all need to eat, and we sometimes have to find different alternatives to make ends meet. Yep. And we're going to see a lot more situations happen because it's getting harder. It's getting harder to survive. Yeah, it is. And, crime's at an all-time high right now. There's other reasons behind it as well. But, that's going on. And it's, how did, COVID affect, your nonprofit? Did it affect it? Or were you seeing an influx of... That was the other problem during COVID, that they didn't want me to let the guys go to work. They were not going to give me funding. Some programs didn't want to help me because I was letting the guys go to work. I said, no, you go to work. You do you. I got in trouble for that. I got in trouble for letting people how to work. I was getting in trouble for people going to work because they wanted me to keep them in lockdown. And I didn't keep anybody in lockdown. And out of all the 6 houses, because I lost one, so at that time I had 7,
Throughout the 7, I think I only had maybe 4 people get sick from COVID. Because that's one thing about my housing that I'm a stickler on. I'm like that Mexican mom when I come to my programs. They already know. Y'all, my house has to be clean at all times. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. I will talk shit. They all know. I'm like, you guys know I'm Mexican, and I don't care. Some of these guys are like 6'5", 6'4". They're like, they're buff. Like, they all know I talk shit. I'll get in their face. Mm-hmm. Did you fucking clean my house today? Like, did you do your chores? And if they don't do their chores, they will hear it from me. I will talk major. I'll F-bomb everybody at the house. They'll get F-bomb texts. They already know. I know it sounds weird. Like, when you're a little kid and your mom, you didn't clean the house and everybody's trying to do something, pretending like all of a sudden they're cleaning. But yeah, that's how I am. I'm educated, but at the same time, I will talk some major shit if my house is not clean. So if I could keep my personal house clean, everybody could keep my houses clean.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Of course.
So that's all I ask. That's one of my major things in my housing. Like, clean my house, work, and save your money. And I also make them do programs. So they have to do like construction, something that will help them become self-sufficient and work on their credit. Because a lot of these programs, they don't work on their credit. They don't care.
Yeah. And that's one thing you need to have here in this country, at least, is have decent credit,
Yeah, you won't even... Like, even if you have bad credit, it's better than having no credit.
Yeah, honestly, right at times.
Because you can't even buy a car, man. It's crazy, dude. You have to have something, because they won't approve you. Even these places that say we approve anybody. No.
Yeah.
Liars.
Yeah, that ain't true.
With credit, they will.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
And even to get an apartment. To get an apartment, you have to have
credit. Yeah, for a credit check now and all that stuff, too. Which I get, I understand. Yeah. You want to make sure that people pay their bills, you know what I mean? So they're going to pay your rent.
And they do criminal background checks, too. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
To get an apartment, you have to do a criminal background check. And my people can't... Some of them have good jobs already, and they cannot get an apartment because of their background, and so they stay with me. I have guys that were supposed to leave me a year ago. I have one guy, he's been with me for 5 years.
Oh, shit.
He pays rent now.
Uh-huh.
He just doesn't want to leave. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't kick them out.
Yeah.
I have a few that call me mom. We're like the same age, but they call me mom. So it's about caring, and that's what I think I'm different on. But going back to the money situation, I literally have to make $30,000 every month. Nobody cares of how I make that happen. I make it happen to support all these homes.
In order to keep everything afloat.
Yeah, I have to make $30,000 every month.
Damn. That's crazy.
It is.
Now, are these, and like the homes that you're talking about, are they just spread out throughout the...
I have Wilmington. I have homes in Wilmington. Mm-hmm. I have LA County and then San Bernardino County.
Okay. And are they just in like residential areas, or are they just spread out?
No, they are in residential areas, but they're spread apart. Yeah. But like the first one, which I used to live there, the neighbors all know. It's kind of weird where you only see men coming out, but I make sure that I talk to all the neighbors. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They all know what's up. I'm like, I don't care what time it is. You call me if there's any problems or anything. Communicate with me. I will be there. So yeah, it's interesting.
So now when you started this, do you purchase the homes and then this is what you turn them into? You turn them into the...
I have both. I rent and then I also own.
Oh, okay.
So I do both.
So the ones that you buy, those are the ones that would be easier to keep towards, once you pay off the home, then it would just be you focusing on the people, right? Your overhead would drop, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, because the overhead is what's expensive and the utility bills. I tell the guys, are you guys taking fucking bubble baths? Because my water bill, I swear to you, at one of my homes was like $3,000 of water.
Sounds like here.
I was like, what are you guys doing? Fuck the plants.
Yeah, don't water the plants.
We don't. I had to take all the plants out. Am I able to cuss? Because I cuss.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. I'm sorry. Bro. I was like, fuck them plants.
Oh man!
I'm like, one of you guys needs to get a job at DWP because you need to hit delete.
Yeah, utilities is.
Hey, that's one of those things though. When you're incarcerated, that's one of the things you could pretty much do is like take a shower, or use a sink, take a shower. Because I remember my uncle always doing that shit, like taking like 6 showers a day and shit. My grandma, I'd be like, oh, where's he at? He's in the shower. Like, fuck, like 6 showers a day.
Yeah, so that was the thing that they have these habits, so they're programmed.
Yeah.
And taking a shower and and being clean, it's one of the things that they're used to. So that's one of the things is like readjusting them to changes. Like, no, we can only take a shower one day out of it. Because this bills.
Here we pay for water.
Yeah, here we pay for water, exactly. And when it starts to get high, I will make copies of all the bill and I'll put it on everybody's bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys see this?
Yeah.
Are you guys okay with Mayra paying $3,000 for a water bill? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. And if you don't care, then you got to go.
Yeah.
Because we're here to help each other.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You I would feel like you can't push too hard because you're already... Like, you don't pay for you're just focusing on bettering yourself. So, I mean, I would be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm going to shower once a week. I got you.
Yeah. I don't need to shower at all.
If somebody told me I don't have to pay bills for like 6 months, I'll be like, I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine how much you could save in 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
Some guys I could get funding for a year. It just depends. Mm-hmm. And, so that's how my situation works.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But one of the things is like what I do different is like I take in the guys and sometimes I don't get any funding. Like if they don't have documents, they don't have their social, if they're like Cuban and I can't get them to process it, Mayra gets no money. Mm-hmm. So I house people. I do get funding, but I'm not that program where if that person's not bringing in money, I won't take them. I get calls in the middle of the night sometimes, and I'll talk to them, and just like I've been on the street, like I've been on the bus, like I'm clean, and I really want to work on my life. Like, you know what? We took in people at 2:00 in the morning, no papers, no nothing. You got somewhere to lay your head.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate that, if you go look at my reviews, there's so much positive things that's been said about the program. So going back to that day when I cried on not buying the lowrider, I appreciate the fact that I took this adventure, not knowing where it was going to lead me to. But we've made, a lot of people move forward in life and a lot of positive things, and, I have guys that not a lot of programs could talk about this, but I've had guys that, I'll turn my phone off. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Because my phone will keep ringing. I have guys that left my programs and bought their own house.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
I have now on record 7 men that left my program buying their own houses.
Hell yeah.
Or condos or whatever,
Yeah, just, on their own.
And I don't hear that many programs saying that.
I feel like you have the human aspect behind it. You're not just a numbers
That's what it is,
person.
too,
You're not looking at it as in, like, I just need to get this person in for 6 months so that I can keep my...
Or I can get X amount of money.
I can get X amount of money.
This guy,
I feel like you seem like a very genuine person in what you do. Like you said, you either could have bought that car or you could have started your business, and right. you chose to start. You chose people over yourself.
Exactly.
And that speaks volume. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people who would have got 70 grand. Would have been like, all right, here we go. Shit would have been gone that day.
Yep. Straight to Vegas.
But no, I feel like that's a big thing. That was a big step. And you, like you said, you taught yourself on the fly as you were going, and didn't know what it entitled, or you just knew that you had that vision. How did you know that that's what you wanted to do? I know you said you set a goal for yourself, but how did you know that's the route you wanted to take? What were you doing before the nonprofit?
I think I've always worked gang intervention, gang prevention, and but my parents were immigrants, and so I think by the age I'm like 6 years old, because I'm like the only one that spoke English because I went to kindergarten. My mom and my family would always utilize me as the interpreter, and back when the 80s, when my parents were trying to immigrate into this country, we would go sleep days before to the immigration building, and then my parents couldn't talk, so I had to help them all the time. Since I was a little kid, I've always been a little firecracker, and I'm okay with confronting people, and I'm okay to speak up since I was little. And before I wouldn't get paid, all I would tell them is that you just, as long as you take me to eat, we're good. And sometimes too, till this day, sometimes do for favors for people that it's outside, because I get calls all the time, whether it's for my business or helping, or I get calls from prison. I get moms crying, sometimes I'm up later, or just always helping, it's in my nature. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, if you can't, do something, at least take me to eat, So I think honestly, it was hard for me at the beginning to accept that this is what, my life is about, is helping others. But now I know that that's what my life mission is. And I figured that out since I was a little kid too, that I am put on this earth to make a difference. And it sounds weird, but I've had when I'll give you guys one example. There's this guy that I would see him on the street all the time, and in downtown LA, homeless. And you see a lot of homeless people downtown, and I would see this guy all the time, but something drew me to have to talk to him. I was like, oh, Mayra, like, just keep driving. Mind your own fucking business. And like something, and I would see him again. I would see him like at random places. I'm like, damn. All right. I pulled over. I had to talk to him. I'm like, hey, how are you? And I talked to him. And then I was like, I've seen you before, and it just, it may sound weird, but like something in me told me that I had to talk to you. So I talked to him. He's like, my wife died. I've been homeless since then because she had cancer. They took our kids away, and she passed away. She was in the hospital for like 6 months, and I lost everything. The kids were taken away because he didn't have nowhere to keep them and stuff like that. So, I called my staff and I said, you know what? We're going to pick you up tomorrow. So I sent one of my staff members, put his bike in the truck, and he lived with me. I get no money, no nothing, because he's not on parole or probation or nothing. I gave him, he's like, just give me 6 months. So I gave him 6 months to stay at my house, had somewhere to lay his head, and he got his kids back, and I helped him get an apartment.
Damn.
And this is just
that's fucking dope.
And that was just you seeing this person.
And he never wanted to ask anybody for help. He was one of those persons that he's African American, and he came into this. He was actually from Africa. Never wanted to ask anybody for help, and he didn't know. Like sometimes people don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just something told me, and I did it, and I, now he got his kids back. He has an apartment, and he's good. It was just from that one thing of me like having to do it, and it happens to me all the time. All the time. I have stories galore on that one of why I don't know. I can't see. I'm not like a weirdo. I can't explain it.
You just had this gut feeling.
Yes, definitely. That's what I would call it, a gut feeling.
That's insane. I mean, by you doing that, you literally changed the lives of 3 people. Just by you just stopping that random day. And
that's sometimes what people don't like. Sometimes, like, just sit there sometimes and just do a random act of kindness, and because you don't know what people are going through.
Of course,
yeah.
And especially now with everything going on in life, like it's getting worse, and we're all like frustrated. We're all mad and angry. Ain't nobody like putting $9 of gas in their car, you know. So it's like it's gonna get harder. So sometimes doing a random act of kindness for somebody else. It's empowering.
All it takes. Sometimes it's just, just acknowledging the person, saying hi.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people too. Like, I'm not a very social, person, but if I make eye contact with someone, I'm going to say hello.
Yeah.
That's just how I am, but nowadays, people don't want to, acknowledge other people or say hi, or,
True.
They think you're being a weirdo, you're being a creep or something. It's like, nah, just, trying to spread positivity, But
if you go into other countries, they do that. It's just here.
Like,
Here it's like what you want, So in other countries, they do smile and they say good morning and stuff like that.
And they don't have to know you or anything.
Exactly.
And never have seen you before.
Exactly. Yeah. So, that's my. And my goal is I don't own a women's home. So I wanted to mention that. I don't know. It's just males that I provide services for. But I have not had the money or the resources to start a women's home. Yeah. Because as a woman, and I have 2 children, some of the programs that exist right now, they only allow the woman and not the kids. And since Mayra doesn't like to follow rules, I would be that person that would say, you know what, just bring the kids.
Yeah.
And then I would get in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's why I have not established a women's program, but that is my ultimate goal, is to have a women's program where I could house them with their children.
It's crazy how they wouldn't allow.
They wouldn't allow you to see your mom after 4 years stint,
right?
bro. They're going to be like, no, you can't have your kids here.
Can't have your kids here.
Liabilities.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look at it like that.
Plus, too, you got to remember, like what she's saying. These programs, 6 months, you don't get your shit together, then, hey, see ya.
Yeah.
Other programs.
Well, other programs,
so
right?
6 months with these families, it's like, all right, cool. You didn't get your shit together, then you better go look for somewhere else to stay. And now you're bringing kids into the mix. Bad luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense in a business standpoint as a fucking human being where you should care about these things. Tell me why. You know what I mean? But people who probably do this and have maybe like these big ass apartment complexes where they're running these organizations, bro. That's a business, dude.
Yeah.
Myra's bringing we're talking. I don't even know about the thing, but I could tell you night and day. You run your operation a whole lot different than maybe some of these other.
And they rather give them the money than give it to me because they're some of those organizations. I won't say what names, but they have millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Millions of dollars. The day a person doesn't have funding, they'll throw them outside. Or that person can't come in until the money's there. The money has to be there first. Yeah. And it's about the money. And it's unfortunate that some of these organizations that have more millions of dollars because they've been established longer or because, they have the funds to hire grant writers, and they have some of the organizations that I personally know that have like the amount of people that I do, they have like 15, 20 staff members. Mm-hmm. I just have me and one other person. So I'm the receptionist, the case manager, the controller, the everything. Like anything you could think of, that's what I do. Sometimes I have to be the damn plumber. Sometimes I have to be the construction worker. Like I got nails and everything, but I'll get down, So it's sad that we've become a society of just money talks.
Yeah.
Money talks.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate how, once. Especially like you said, like these big corporations and stuff, if they don't see the grant or the money, they won't take the person in. Mm. And that's very, very unfortunate. And then, like people like you who are the smaller business aspect of it, you're the one that has the heart and it's taking more of a loss, when they wouldn't take a loss, they would just be X'd out of that grant or whatever, you know, and they're more able to do it.
Yeah.
But yet they're not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could go on tangent about that.
Yeah, we could go on forever.
So what is a day-to-day in your business look like from just a regular work day? What does it look like for you?
Answering like 100 emails. So, and all these phone calls. Like I am right now, I think I'm like 700 texts behind because I have so many people trying to come into the program. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that I have to tell people no because I don't have any room right now. Mm-hmm. All my beds, I'm all full right now. So is more than anything is talking to all the parole agents, making sure guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and me getting all these threatening phone calls because I'm behind on my bills sometimes, and it's just, and trying to find grants, trying to find money as well. And talking to the guys when guys are getting frustrated, having girlfriend issues, personal issues, and helping them get a job. So I have something going on with each one of them. So imagine having like over 70 people depending on you on some type of form, So it gets... I could work literally all. Sometimes I don't even go to the bathroom. Sometimes I don't even eat. Like that's why it's also, aside from everything, all of this has affected my health. I've spiraled down because I don't sleep. I don't eat. I don't take care of myself. So the lady that takes care of everybody has lost taking care of herself.
See, that's the thing too. You got to watch that because at the end of the day, you're the one who's in charge of all this. Do you have anybody that you're trying to train and kind of show them the ropes and whatnot a little bit?
I'm kind of like my son, he's 20, so I kind of been like having him help me because I've been in the hospital a lot lately from, high blood pressure.
Stress and stuff like that. And I can only imagine, being responsible for like the amount of people that you said that you have.
Yeah, and I have autoimmune disorder, so I have a lot of medical conditions right now that I'm trying to struggle with, and I haven't traveled or done anything because that was like the biggest thing for me is to travel to get away from everybody. Mm-hmm. And I haven't done that. So I'm finally doing that next month. I'm going to Mexico. Okay. And I'm getting helmets made because there's a lot of people that want helmets made. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting helmets made for other people.
Dope. Do you ride with anybody? Because that's how I found you on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Who do you Who do you usually ride with?
I ride with a bunch of different girls. I used I used to be from a club, but I'm not. I was a part of a female club, but I'm not a part of a club no more because I don't have that time.
Okay.
But I just ride with I just ride by myself, so I'm a solo rider, I would say. Mm-hmm. But I ride with different girls. I now have a group of friends that are super cool. They low ride. Okay. They all have their own low riders. And even though they don't ride, like they have added me into, because there's many times where the girls are all low riding, mm-hmm. and I'm in my bike because I feel like I want to be in my bike. And there's times like I'll tell them like, you know what, guys, like today I feel like riding, and they're in the lowriders, and that camaraderie with women that share the same passion with lowriders. Yeah. Because I've been in situations where guys like have talked shit to me or whatever, like, you know, like they always think your car is your dude's car. I'm like, no, that's my car. Mm-hmm. Or like my bike, that's my bike. You know, so we the bike scene and the motorcycle scene is now coming up more where it's more female allowed, because in past the times it wasn't like the norm for females to do this.
Yeah, it wasn't normal or whatever, or it was just you were the backpack type of deal. You know,
exactly.
But yeah, things are starting to get more open. You know, people are more inclusive, I guess you can say. You know.
Yeah, it's more acceptable.
Yeah,
now.
It's more acceptable.
For me to be a backpack, I've only done that twice in my life. Mm-hmm. I had so much anxiety. I'm like, you putting me, I am nobody's bitch.
But that's funny though. That's one of the main reasons why most of the women decide to get their own bike, is the fact that like, whoa, like I have no control of what's going on. Exactly. Like, no, fuck that. I don't like that. Yeah. And let me get my own bike and I'll go do this myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And you know, even though I'm a female and all that, like, mm-hmm. I love the fact that I have the control. Yeah. So. I mean, you hit it on the head with that one, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I mean, like with everything, you know, guys will be guys, machismo, whatever it is. You know, they feel threatened. You know, if they see this chick on the bike or she's faster than me, oh no, she can't. Like, who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Who cares?
Who cares about that stuff? But you know, whatever. Boys will be boys, I guess.
But the guys in my program, they think it's super cool that mm-hmm. I am a biker. You know, they're like, you know, they know I could talk shit, and then you see me roll up on a bike, they're like, "What, you ride a motorcycle? You're so little. You're so short." And I'm like, yeah, I know I am. Last time I checked.
Yeah, right. It was I got that a couple times too. Yeah. You said someone said that. Oh, who's that little boy on that bike?
Yeah, there was a picture and like, oh, who's that kid on that bike? I was like, that's not a kid. That's Jose. That's Jose. Yeah. Big ass bagger.
Yeah, we could do it too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what. Like, I remember once we were somewhere. We were hanging out at a clubhouse, clubhouse. They were Outcast. They were predominantly black 1%er club. Mm-hmm. And I was in their little bar area, and we were hanging around, and then some old lady, she was there, I guess she was somebody's wife or something. She's like, "Oh, what do you ride?" And I was like, "Oh, I ride a Harley." She's like, "You ride a Harley?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Like, she doubted you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we get it, but I mean, so I got that in the beginning of like the lowrider scene. Mm-hmm. I got is that your dad's car? I mostly got, is that your grandpa's car? Like, nah, it's mine. That's yours? Like, yeah. What's that? Like, and now, like, it's crazy how it's blowing up. I think it is with social media and stuff. Yeah. Now you got the younger generation starting to get into the car scene and whatnot. Yeah. And, you know, it's cool. I respect it now. It's cool, like, riding with people who are your own age, because I was riding with a lot of guys who were, like this fool says, my old homies. I used to kick with my old homies.
Oh, yeah, your old homies.
But I think that also helps you, like, want to strive for more, because all this stuff is so expensive.
Yes, it is.
But the lowrider scene or any, like, the cops, they look at it as negative. Like, no, do you realize how much money is in here? Like, we have to work very hard for... We all know how much a fender is. Like, if you want rims, they're not $200. No. You know, so it's such an expensive habit that it should be like, you know, they worked hard for what they got. Yeah. You know, and that's what we were out there to show.
And I mean,
we work hard.
Yeah, for exactly. Stuff. And I feel like, come on, man. Like, honestly, you think I'm gonna do some shit in my truck that, like, if I've gotten backed into, I've gotten in accidents and stuff, but like, you really think I'm gonna put my truck at risk right now to do something like stupid? Like, we were out, and that was the first time that we had ever got like kind of messed with. we were on our way to 2nd Street in the truck.
This is funny.
It's granted, yeah, it's like freaking. I want to say it was almost like midnight because we
like
just got out off of work. I'm like, let's go take the truck out. So we took the truck out. It's midnight. We're on Ocean, right by that big apartment, like Ocean and
Pine or whatever.
Yeah,
something like that.
So this cop pulls up, and he's like, "Oh, nice truck." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "What's the inside look like?" And I'm not thinking in my head, right? I'm like, "Oh, I mean, is it in?" I think he said, "Is the inside clean too?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then my truck's higher, so he's up here. So he's like, "Oh, can we see it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I just go, "Yeah," and I scoot back. And then he's like, "Nah, like, can you open the door?" And I was like, "I guess." So I open the door, and then he's like, "Oh, all right, cool." And then I shut the door, and he pulls off, and this dude's like, "Damn, bro." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he was trying to see if we had anything in the car," and I'm like, damn, you're right. Like, that was kind of fucking weird to, like, have me open my door so you could see if we got anything on the floor. Like,
but bro, you didn't think that.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I'm still thinking, like, in my head, like, oh, you just wanted to see the inside of the car. You liked it. I was like, damn, you're right. But, like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, we're going to have a gun in here? Like, I could go, like, 40 miles an hour. You really think I'm going to use this truck to go, like, go rip somebody off or something right now? Like, come on, guys.
The stereotyping.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it was. You know? But, I mean, you got to give it... It was a bad. It has such a bad stigma because of what it was before. You know what I mean? It's like the infamous story of, like, when you call shotgun. That the story from that is because the guy sitting passenger would always have the shotgun to fucking do the shootout or whatever. There's bad publicity, stigma, whatever history behind it, associated to it. It is what it is. But like I say, it's up to us, the people, to change that. Yeah. Be positive, show initiative, show that we're not out here, causing a ruckus or whatever. We're just gathering. It's like I said, most of these, like you said, most of these guys that have these cars are like businessmen, businesswomen. They own their own business. They have families and stuff like that. How else are you able to afford that kind of vehicle?
Even the people who aren't, like, when I was at one of the cruise nights, I think it was in Bellflower. You looked at this dude, straight OG from the hood, right? Like, and me too, I was thinking it too. I was like, damn, this fool, like, I'm looking at his car right now. He's gonna come and say some shit, right? He's like, hey, what's up, G? I'm like, nothing. He's like, you like my ride? I'm like, yeah, this shit's clean. He's like, sit in it, bro. I'm like, oh, I'm alright. He's like, nah, sit in it, try it out. I'm like, alright, cool. So I sat in his car, and she's like, yeah, my grandpa starts talking to me about the story. You can't judge a book by their cover. Right. These like, a lot of the dudes in the scene, like, pretty much everybody I've met who are in the I don't know, in the Latino, Mexican community, whatever, the raza, so fucking nice to share their input on their cars, like, just really freaking humble dudes, and they look, like, I'm a deer in the headlights, because I never really grew up in that kind of, I don't know what you would call it, scene, like, I wasn't in the gang environment or anything like that, but, like, freaking straight nicest people you ever meet in the car community, and they're same. You have that common interest of a car, and they'll chop it up about your car, you chop it up about their car, and just I feel like everybody's really nice. Like,
they are. Yeah, everybody is super cool.
But hey, you got anything else with it? Questions,
comments, concerns?
You got anything you want to say?
I appreciate you guys inviting me. I wanted to say that, and I love the fact, I love supporting other people and spreading the word out and making a difference. And I hope you guys make it big.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying something out. We always tell we love to just sit around bullshit and talk, about everything. When it comes to cars, bikes, politics, fucking what we did over the weekend, things like that. So then when this came around of like, oh, we should probably start something, and we're like, yeah, cool, we'll just have our buddies and we'll talk about stuff. But then it's like, no, but we want people to watch, we want to get people's attention. So then what do? All right, let's involve the cars, let's involve the bikes. Oh, let's talk about businesses. Let's bring women here, because women's a big audience. We're two guys, so we're all we talk about like bro stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then it's like, yeah, we should include everyone and help and like you said, you have this nonprofit that helps spread that as well, you know, and then it could open people's eyes of like, oh yeah, maybe I could start a nonprofit, or maybe, oh, I can go and volunteer and help her out, you know.
Right.
So that's the end goal of something like this, is to help spread awareness of anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And help the community in some, you know, positive aspect.
Yeah, for sure.
I like how he started that off with, we're just trying it out. Trying it out with one camera and 2 microphones on his couch.
Yeah.
We're in it now.
Yeah,
There ain't no...
You guys are in deep.
Yeah, we're in it. Yeah. We can only go deeper.
Yeah.
There's no turning back.
There's no turning back.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right.
he hit it on the head. We're just trying to include everybody. And like I said, a lot of the podcasts that are out there right now, like in the Harbor area, are kind of based more towards like, you know, artists and, you know, we try to keep it everybody. We don't want to
just focus on one thing.
Focus on one thing. We want to try to highlight everybody in the Harbor area. Even if you're not that big in the Harbor area and you just want to come and talk. That's what we're trying to do. And educate ourselves along the way.
That too, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We
I learned a lot
so much,
right
you know, with you and everyone else that we've had.
Yeah, I learned what a nonprofit was
you know?
today. Call me what you want after that comment. I learned what a nonprofit was today, and, you know, found out what it's all about and what it takes. It's not an easy route to
Cookie
go.
cutter,
You know what I mean? It's a lot of, you know, how can I say it? I'm looking for the word dedication. Yeah, a lot of dedication and a lot of putting
sacrifice.
70 people before yourself.
Yeah, and I think one of the things to share more than anything, that even though I have my 2 kids, like they've sacrificed a lot with me, because my relationship, I've lost time with my own children for this mission. And sometimes you lose people, sometimes, you know, and as time goes by, they'll see that it was for the better. But it's hard. It's very hard to have a passion and follow it through. Like riding on motorcycles, everybody said, I am tired of that. It's so dangerous. You're a woman. Like, I know I'm a woman. Yeah. Like, just because I'm a woman, it's a dangerous thing. Yeah. But I choose this life for myself.
Yeah.
And I choose to run my own business, and I choose, all these are my own choices. And we all have choices to make.
You can go the safe route, you know, and just go the easy way or whatever, or you can go this route and find your way, live life. You know, I say anything can happen to us.
That Prius don't give a shit if you're a man or a woman.
Oh my God,
or whatever. That motherfucker
sure.
don't care. That pavement don't fucking care. You know what I mean?
Exactly, it does not.
That's why I stay on 4. No, I'm
it's not for everybody, you know, and that's fine. Like I never, and people, you know, that don't like it, like that's you. Exactly. That's it. If that's not what you like, then that's fine.
And I wouldn't even say that I don't like it. I respect it. That's why I don't do it.
You know yourself.
I know my limits.
It's like the infamous story, dog, when you drop one of my bikes on top of my
head. I told this dude, I'm like, this is why I don't belong on a bike. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, and I'm
love it.
Perfectly,
you like it.
I respect them. We went to the Viglaso show. Shout out MC Pancho. And they're badass to look at. It's fucking sick. Like something like that bike that was spinning around. You would never ride that. Because you know what I mean? Like
it's a show bike.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of it. They're dope. Do I need to be on one? No. And hey, big ups to you for doing it, man or woman.
Thank you. Definitely.
It fucking takes a lot to do that. And again, even with your nonprofit, doesn't matter. Like, you're doing shit. That's fucking sick.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good, and the way you spoke about it, and you gave us your little stories of how you put the people before the profit, you know, even though it's a non-profit, but there's many non-profits out there, you know, that go for profit, you know, which we were talking about before. So that's a big kudos to you. And then
thank you.
We just want to congratulate you on what you're doing, and hopefully, you know, you keep doing what you're doing and keep helping people, because, you know, you're changing people's lives. You're changing people's lives that a lot of people just X them out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and we want to thank you again for coming out.
Thank you.
And you pulled up today, just even saying what you said. You said you need a plumber, you need an electrical guy.
Oh yeah,
that's what we do
that's
for
what
a
we
living.
do. That's what we
So
do.
see
So
that
now
you ever need somebody
Ever
to
need
come and
somebody
look
to-
at
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
you don't get
there's.
shafted because a lot of these
Oh my
people
god!
out there.
Yeah, they see you're a girl, and it's
Oh
just.
yeah, that's another thing.
Oh
too,
yeah,
right?
you know you. Oh, that's gonna cost $30,000. You know,
What?
like
Hello?
what is that? Like the
Oh,
parts are
this
what,
is
like $10?
this is a non-profit organization.
They got money or
Okay,
something, right?
yeah. That's so
Somebody gives them money.
stupid,
Yeah,
bro.
it's pretty dumb. But yeah,
That's cool.
you know,
Thank
if
you.
you ever
Appreciate
need any
that.
help with maintenance stuff, well,
Thank you.
Or
Thank you.
just a question on a
or
quote.
question or something like
Okay.
that.
If
Yeah,
it's too much, just let us know.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
back
you.
up on
Yeah.
it.
The last thing I wanted to mention, or spread the word out, is never be scared to do something. And if you fail, you've learned from that process. Because as a society and in our culture, sometimes we're so scared of failing.
course.
And
Yeah.
failure is something that we've lost, because that's the time that you learn. And I failed a lot in life with anything that I've done, but I've learned from that. So never stop yourself because you think you're going to fail. And if you fail, so what? You learned from it. Keep going. You take another route. I've started so many other businesses or had so many other ideas, and it didn't work out. So let's do something else. Keep going.
keep going. Yeah, that's
I wanted to end
that's
it
a
with
good
that.
that's a good little
Definitely.
message, and then we'll go ahead and end it there. So if you guys go ahead and like, subscribe, comment.
We'll put the link for
We'll
your
put the link for
Okay,
your
cool.
nonprofit
Thank
as
you.
well.
donations or whatever.
Yeah, anyone
Thank
that
you,
might
thank
want to
you.
help or whatever, or questions that as well,
For
so,
sure.
I think next guest what we're having.
I don't want to say it.
You don't
yet
want to say it
because
yet? Oh,
we gotta
okay.
confirm.
We can neither confirm
we
nor
gotta
deny.
confirm
But whatever, we'll have
confirmation
an
on that one.
episode next week. Fuck it.
Thank you.
Catch you guys on the next one. All right,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming out.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
That was cool, guys. Thank you.
No problem. It gets easier as the interview progresses.
Yeah, I've never done this before.